Right, so here's the Dread. Um, what we've done obviously is removed its arm and stuff. We're going to start work on some rig work. So what I'm going to do is go to my layers and I'm going to hide stuff that I don't want. So there we go. I'll unhide this leg. Now if I zoom in on it, what I need to do is make sure we have a hierarchy that's all set and working. Now if you remember, if you have actually got the first part of this set, when we create everything we've separated a lot of parts down, and some of that was basically for building our pseudo rig, and some parts of it were for the sakes of building and whatever. I mean, there's some old styles here, but it does work. What I'm going to do is basically start the linking process like so. That links to there. This also links to there, though. Actually, I tell you what, rather than doing it that way, we'll have this links to here, and this can link to here. This will link onto here. This links onto here. This also, come here you, links onto here. Okay, so we've linked these together, and now what we can do is just have a quick look and see if our hierarchy works or not. Well, no, because that isn't linked to this yet. Hang on. Okay, now lift this up. If all the parts are moving, then yes, it is correct. And let's have a quick look at our schematic view. Our schematic view always tends to be a bit messy because it hasn't really been set up logistically. This is the parts you see here. And as you can see, we didn't really use too much of a conventional naming standard for the old Dreadnought 2, sadly. So we do have lots of these areas here, like box 5, 6, 7, 8, and 18, 19, and 20 and stuff. This is kind of why it's important. I know these are just the boxes and the dummies that we used for attaching these hoses, but that's not the point. It's important that we do maintain some sort of a naming discipline. Okay, next thing I need to do is I'm going to create a circle. This will be our leg controller spline, yeah? I'm just going to pull it out about that far and enable it in the viewport, not the renderer. Change the thickness on it a bit. And then I'm going to align it to this. And click OK. Okay, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to create a dummy. And the dummy is important for a couple of reasons. Now the dummy I'm going to align as well to our circle here. And then I'm going to pull this all the way forward like so. Okay, we'll be moving that soon enough, don't worry. Okay, now the reason I've done that is because we need to align this foot. So we can use a lookout controller for the foot, and we can do that before or after the rig's been created. Now, because we have our hierarchy set up, I can do an IK solver straight away, history independent, and it's going to come down and end here at the foot hub. Now you'll notice this is tilted straight away. Let's not worry about that. First I'm going to select and link down here. This is our IK chain, and I'm going to link it to this. Now my IK chain will move whenever I move this. I'm also going to take this here, and I'll probably link that over to this as well. So let's say I'm going to link this to here. Okay, now if I take this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a simple assign controller. No, I'm not. What am I? Now if you look, all its transforms are taken over by the IK controller, so I really should have done this beforehand. So I'll just do this quickly now. There we go. So just undo my IK and relink this rotation, look at constraint. There we go. Now, if you look, our pistons are... No, the pistons still look okay. Let's just check our lookout constraints all set up properly. Oh, we haven't added the lookout target yet, hang on. There. Now you'll notice that the foot is all bent out of shape and not actually pointing in the right direction. There's a reason for that, and that is that when this foot was created, it was actually created as a box of this shape, looking down, yeah? You can see the shape here. So, what we need to do is reset its X form before we can actually do anything with it. I mean, otherwise it's going to tilt really, really badly when we don't want it to. So, let's undo that again. And what we need to do is go over here, zoom in on this part, and I'm going to unlink it from any and all parts that it was currently linked to on its little chain. So I'll just click unlink. Then if I go over here and reset its X form, you'll notice it's just rotated slightly. Now if I rotate it 45 degrees, I'll press A, angle snap. Make sure that we don't have a lookout control in the rotation, so I'll just make this a Euler. That way I can rotate it. There we go. So now this is facing the right direction, and its bounding box is correctly set and so forth. As you see, if I apply a second X-form reset, it doesn't spin this time. Now I can set its lookout constraint. I'm going to set it to look at our little box. There we go. Now it's looking at this. This means that if I move this box, that foot will also look at it. Okay, now let's set these toes, because they need to be linked back to the middle part again. There we go. And we need to make sure that our hierarchic rig is still working. It's not connected to the bottom yet. That's okay, we can fix that. That's just because we did the X-form reset. There to there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is do an animation IK solver, history independent solver. Take it down to here. You'll notice our foot now stays completely level. Now I'm going to link my IK chain to here. And make sure this is linked to here. So now if we check it out, the movement actually looks correct again now. As you can see, the hoses are flexing and unflexing correctly. And our toes are looking up and down properly as well when we do that, which means we have the rotation for the foot right. So that's excellent. Okay, so we'll come back and we'll do the other part, the other foot, and then we'll do some more stuff after that, probably wire some sliders.